Ladies and gentlemen, now I want to start this video by saying that in the last 12 months I have quite enjoyed a lot of the new content, challenges and characters that have been introduced into Marvel Contest of Champions, and I think the team overall are doing a better job than they have in previous years of making genuinely fun and interactive content. However, there are a couple of exceptions to this which I want to talk about today, because I think there's design in terms of how Aegon works as an uncollected boss, and also some nodes in Variant which just fucking sucks. So I want to rant about both of those things today, because overall I think they're doing a really good job, but I want to break down both of these areas of just shit content and talk about why they are so bad for Marvel Contest of Champions and why the core pieces of each design on both of them should not continue in the game. So I think that's very important to call out and discuss, because generally speaking, man, I like that there are a lot of new exciting bosses like the Champion, for example, but I also like the ability that it's a fair fight, and there are a lot of counters that exist both in maybe newer champions but old ones as well, and it's always fun when you can like whip out an old character like Loki, for example, and have a bit of an interesting kill on the champion. So I kind of like that fight. But Uncollected Aegon, man, this fight sucks. I have had so many people message me with like tales of rage quitting on this. We've seen, you know, toward the start of the month, and like a few big quitting posts on Reddit, and I'm sure, you know, if you are kind of in a mid-tier alliance, you've had a few people that have maybe been heavily frustrated by this fight. So what sucks about Aegon, and what don't I like about Aegon? So the thing that I don't like about Aegon, and kind of the fundamental thing, is the more that you fail on this fight, the significantly more harder / borderline impossible it gets for the majority of players at this uncollected level of difficulty. You are punished on this fight so severely if you can't get it down on the first try, or if you have maybe a very bad first try, maybe the second try as well, but you need to go in, you need to ideally one-shot it, or you're just completely screwed. The fight ramps up insane amounts in terms of the difficulty, and even with the slight adjustment to block proficiency and the way that Aegon functions yesterday, it's still like absolutely ridiculous. There should never be a fight in Marvel Contest of Champions that the more you fail on that fight, the harder that fight becomes. Definitely in the future, I think one fight that I really enjoyed this year was Infinity War Thanos, and I think making the fight a little bit harder or a little bit different as the fight progresses in terms of percentage is a good idea, but the Aegon fight just sucks. It just punishes you for failing. This fight is just so incredibly dumb to me in terms of its core design. The more you fail, the harder the fight gets, until, you know, the player is pretty much forced to quit and restart the mission, and then they have to go through the tedious fights again to get to this boss, and also spend 30 units on an energy refill. So it's just not fun at the end of the day. It's just not a fun encounter. It's not a good learning experience for the player. It's one shot the fight, or you're just pretty much dead on all of the other attempts, and they're pretty pointless. And just I don't know, man, there's just so much that's bad about this, but this fight could be remedied in kind of multiple ways. You could, I think the best solution for this one, again, because I don't personally believe that it is good game design at all to go into a fight, fail, and have that fight get harder and harder, because that's a terrible learning curve. And just, you know, punishes people very severely for making a mistake, being bad. So yeah, I think on this specific Aegon, before launch, you should have removed the ability, the awakened ability, for the combo hits to carry over, so that every single fight you kind of have that consistent time ramp up in terms of difficulty, and also maybe remove buffet as well. Or you could do like either one of those, so at least on the average character you could get maybe a little bit of damage in if you intercept it. But overall, man, I just hate Aegon. I think it's really stupid game design, and yeah, if you look it up, man, it's like bad game design 101. It's just punishing people even more for failing by making the fight even harder. It's just a really stupid. But anyway, let's talk about the second thing that I really don't like, ladies and gentlemen. And this is in Ultron Variant Chapter 3. Now, these nodes, man, they should be a thing of the past. Kabam, have you not learned any lessons at all about fun and interactive content? 1.1% health per second degeneration nodes. These fucking suck. There is no way around them at all, especially in the final chapter with the champions provided. Gladiator Hulk, I can give Starburst a pass, because Gladiator Hulk, not only does he heavily mitigate starburst, but he also gains a huge damage burst from that one. So, you know, you've got that one off my shit list. But when it comes to this Degeneration, man, this sucks. On like a 48k Sentinel with Masochism and Oscillate, you've got 1.1% health degeneration every single second. It's just terrible. It's just terrible game design. And there is like no reason for this node at all existing aside from we just want to make you spend more health potions. So it's rubbish. It just needs to be removed, man. These degeneration nodes I would love to see. And this is my personal challenge to any Kabam developer watching. Go on the forums and explain to me why there is a 1.1% degeneration node. Because this node just fucking sucks, man. Aside from like trying to milk the cash out of you and get you to spend more health potions, this is honestly one of the worst parts of the push for variant 100% so far, and there is also a little bit of it in the next chapter as well, but I think by far the worst one is Sentinel, and arguably there are some champions that can help mitigate this to a certain extent, but they don't really work too well. If you wanted to use Phoenix on this fight, again, you've got Masochism in play as well, so you're going to have to deal with a 5% additional regeneration, which on an almost 175k Sentinel is a lot of regeneration as well, so you can, you know, maybe make the fight last a little bit longer, but it just sucks, man. It just sucks. I don't want to take a load of damage just because the node says we take a load of damage. It's fucking bullshit cash grab design, and you don't need it in your game. There's so much like genuinely good challenge in variant. Like even in chapter 2, when I'm looking at some of the most difficult fights, I'm thinking, you know, is this a pure test of skill, or is this just BS? Even looking at the aspect of Warkorg, right, which is going to be an absolute nightmare for so many people, myself included, man. This fight, you know, I'm not the best Korg fighter in the world, but at the same time, this is totally possible if you are very, very good at doing the light intercepts on Korg. This is entirely possible to get through. Granted, it's kind of like one of those fights that's so difficult that it's borderline BS, but you could definitely one-shot this one with kind of the right champion and not really take too much damage there if you have like invincible level skills. So yeah, that one, at least, you know, it's possible. You can bring a Quake there, but the Degeneration, man, it sucks. It sucks so bad. And it's also on this Colossus and also Skill Sentinel. Let's just get rid of these degeneration nodes, man. There's so much good challenge in variant. There are a lot of great fights that are very difficult to overcome, but you can overcome them by clever play and skill, and that's what the game should be. It should be about using the right characters, coming up with a clever strategy, and not just, hey, you're gonna die in 55 seconds because the node fucking says so. Your health is constantly getting siphoned. Why? Because fucking damage. Buy some health potions, you cheap little shit. So to summarize, fuck Degeneration, man. We should have lost this node in 2016. There are better ways to design fights than this absolute bullshit cash grab node. And Uncollected Aegon, man, that fight just has terrible core game design. A fight should not get more and more difficult and punish the player for failing and failing again, because you're just going to create additional frustration and additional moments where players go, fuck this game, I'm just not interested in it. It's not a good learning experience, it's not a good learning curve, and it's just bad game design. And if you have stuff like that in the future, just more and more players are going to be pushed away from Marvel Contest to Champions because the fights just don't become fun, they become overly punishing, and it's just, again, shit game design. It's fucking like beginner game design 101, man. Make a good learning curve, or at least make sure you can progress through a fight. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to get those two topics off my chest. Let me know what you think about both of these things in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.